She does not own much. No overflowing closet, no chasing every new trend, no second-guessing herself in the mirror every morning. Just 7 pieces, worn with the kind of quiet, unshakable certainty that makes people stop and look. And here is the most controversial part of this whole conversation. The women who dress this way, especially after 50, are not trying to impress anyone. They are dressing to disappear into themselves, and somehow that is the most captivating thing in any room they walk into. Today, on Melanin Black Style, you are getting all 7 pieces, what they are, why they work so powerfully on a woman over 50, and exactly how to wear them. And I need you to stay with me until the very end of this video, because the last piece, the one most women completely overlook, is the one that pulls everything together. Without it, the other 6 pieces just sit there. With it, every outfit you own starts working for you instead of against you. If this is the kind of style conversation you have been looking for, hit that red subscribe button right now and tap the bell. You are in the right place and you deserve to be here. Now, before we get into the pieces, let me tell you what most style guides completely get wrong, because this matters and it changes everything. Most people look at women who dress with effortless elegance and they think, oh, that must be a certain look, a mood board, a carefully curated Instagram aesthetic full of cobblestones and coffee cups. But that is not it at all. What women who truly master style after 50 actually do is something far more deliberate and far less glamorous than it appears. They subtract consistently, quietly, and without any apology whatsoever. Not because they cannot afford more, but because they understand something most of us were never taught, that more is not more. More is just noise. And here is something nobody talks about enough on this channel or anywhere else. After 50, our skin changes. The natural contrast between our complexion, our hair, and our eyes shifts and softens. That is why heavily layered, overly complicated outfits can suddenly feel all wrong. They compete with your face instead of framing it. Simple, well-chosen pieces do the complete opposite. They let you lead. They let your face, your energy, your presence be the main event. And the real secret, the one the fashion industry does not want you to focus on, is this. A powerful wardrobe after 50 is not about owning fewer things. It's about owning the right things. Pieces you wear again and again that know your body, that carry your history, and that require absolutely zero decision-making on a Tuesday morning. That's the philosophy, not a shopping list, a way of life. Now, let's get into the 7 pieces, starting with the one that changes your entire silhouette the moment you put it on. Piece 1, the tailored blazer. There is a moment when you put it on and everything shifts. Structure appears where there was none. You stand a little straighter, you walk a little differently. You look like a woman who knows exactly where she is going and has absolutely no reason to rush. And here's the controversial truth. That feeling does not come from a new hairstyle. It does not come from the right shade of lipstick. It comes from the right blazer. The tailored blazer. Not a boxy suit jacket that swallows you whole. Not a trendy fashion season piece that will look dated in 2 years. A slightly oversized structured blazer in wool, linen, or a quality blended fabric. Navy, charcoal, or black. Clean lapels, a proper shoulder line, a silhouette that drapes rather than clings. The kind of garment that looks like it already belongs to you before you have worn it twice. Here's why this works so specifically for women over 50. As our bodies change, we benefit enormously from pieces that create their own structure rather than relying on the body to provide it. The blazer does exactly that. It defines the shoulder line, which is one of the very first things the eye reads when it looks at a person. A strong shoulder creates the impression of lifted posture, a longer neck, and a more defined silhouette overall. It also frames the face beautifully. A structured collar near the jawline draws attention upward and frames your features the way a border holds a painting. Everything inside it looks more deliberate, more considered, more you. Throw it over a simple white tee and dark jeans for an effortless daily look that requires zero further thought. Layer it over a silk camisole and tailored trousers for something more refined. On a cool evening, wear it as a lightweight coat over a midi dress. The one thing to watch: the shoulder seam must sit exactly at your shoulder, never drooping down the arm. That one fit detail is everything. Pair it with a slim leather belt loosely at the waist, a simple gold chain, and a structured bag. Nothing more is needed. The blazer is already doing all the heavy lifting. Now picture this. You walk into a restaurant, dark jeans, a silk camisole, a navy blazer. You have not tried particularly hard, and yet every single person at that table looks up when you arrive, not because you are loud, because you carry a quiet certainty that fills the room before you even speak. The blazer does not say you dressed up, it says you showed up. And on Melanin Black Style, we believe those are two very different things. Piece 2, the trench coat. This next piece has been worn by writers and royals, by women crossing rainy streets and navigating busy morning markets. It belongs to every decade, and it flatters every woman who commits to wearing it with confidence. But here is what I want you to notice. It is controversial in the best possible way, because for decades, women over 50 have been quietly steered away from this coat. Too classic, they say, too structured, too much. Let me tell you something right now. That advice was wrong. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever been told a piece of clothing was too much for your age? Because I want to hear it. The trench coat. Classic, belted in camel, warm beige, or deep navy. A structured collar, a clean drape that falls past the knee, and a substantial fabric that holds its shape but moves freely with your body. This is not a trend coat. It has been here for over a century, and it will still be here long after every other coat in your wardrobe has turned over. Here is what it does for your silhouette. It creates one long, unbroken vertical line from shoulder to hem that visually lengthens everything. After 50, this kind of elongating structure is deeply flattering. It draws the eye upward and downward rather than across. The belted waist offers a natural definition point without any tightness or restriction. You decide how loosely or firmly it sits. And the collar, turned up just slightly, frames the face and neck with a warmth and elegance that a scarf alone cannot replicate. Wear it open over a cashmere sweater and dark trousers for city mornings, belted softly over a simple dress for travel days. Let it be the final layer that takes a casual outfit and makes it look completely intentional. Picture yourself stepping off a train in a beige trench and dark jeans. You did not plan this outfit carefully. You simply reached for what was there. And yet every person on that platform registers something they cannot quite name. A completeness, a composure. That is this coat doing its work the way it always does. Piece 3, the cashmere sweater. Do not skip past this one because you think you already know it, because what I am about to tell you about this piece is something most women do not fully understand until they experience it for themselves. It is not about what it looks like. It is about what it does to the air around you, how it softens your whole presence, how it makes the person across from you lean just a little bit closer without knowing why. That is the cashmere sweater. And on Melanin Black Style, we believe every woman over 50 deserves to own at least one. V-neck, crew neck, or roll neck, navy, ivory, soft gray, or a deep earthy tone. Fine gauge, never bulky, the kind of knit that falls close to the body without clinging, holds its shape across years of wear, and never stiffens or pills. When you wear real cashmere, the skin feels it before the eye sees it, and that distinction matters more than any visual detail ever could. After 50, our skin becomes more sensitive to texture. Rough fabrics irritate. Stiff fabrics create visual heaviness near the face. Cashmere does neither. It sits lightly, drapes beautifully, and reflects warmth without adding bulk. The V-neck creates a vertical line down the center of the chest, elongating the neck and framing the face without harshness. And the roll neck does something different and equally powerful. It creates a clean, continuous line from chin to chest that reads as deeply sophisticated, particularly against silver, white, or natural gray hair. A navy V-neck over dark jeans and loafers, a cream roll neck under a structured blazer, a soft gray crew with tailored trousers and a draped scarf, always half-tucked at the front. Thin gold or rose gold chains resting against the neckline, small stud earrings, a clean, simple watch, nothing that competes with the softness of what you are wearing. If you are enjoying this video so far, please hit the like button right now. It tells us on Melanin Black Style that this kind of content is exactly what you need more of. Piece 4. The crisp white shirt. This one is going to sound too simple, too obvious, and that is exactly the problem. Because the women who truly understand it, the ones who wear it with dark jeans on an ordinary Tuesday morning and somehow look like they made a very clear decision about who they are, they know something that the rest of us are still working out. The crisp white shirt. Cotton or silk poplin, a clean collar, proper cuffs, a straight or slightly shaped hem. Not oversized in a trendy way, not specifically fashionable in any particular direction, just a well-cut, well-pressed, properly fitting white shirt. And here is a detail that changes everything. One small personal touch, a monogram at the cuff, a vintage brooch at the collar, converts a classic piece into a quiet personal signature. That is the elegant instinct. Not branding, not advertising, just owning it as completely yours. White reflects light upward. It is one of the most flattering choices you can wear near the face for exactly that reason. It bounces brightness onto the jaw, the eyes, and the skin. After 50, when our skin can lose some of its natural luminosity, that reflected warmth is genuinely visible. And the white shirt creates clean contrast against dark trousers or jeans that immediately produces visual definition and proportion. Half-tucked into high-rise dark jeans with loafers for your most effortless daily look, fully tucked into tailored trousers for something more polished, worn open over a simple tank as a relaxed second layer, the collar always open, one or two buttons undone, never buttoned to the throat. The white shirt does not try to make a statement, it makes you the statement instead, and that is the whole point. Piece 5. Dark straight leg jeans. And now we are getting to something that will absolutely start a debate in the comments, because the fashion world has spent years telling women over 50 which jeans they should and should not wear. Wide leg, straight leg, cropped, relaxed, and most of that advice changes every single season. So let me give you something that does not change. Dark, straight leg, high-rise jeans. Structured, raw or dark wash denim. No distressing, no embellishment, no fashion-specific cut that will date itself in 18 months. A clean, straight leg from hip to ankle. A high waist that sits comfortably above the hip bone and stays there. The kind of jeans that were being worn by elegant women in the 1970s are being worn today and will still be worn 20 years from now, because they are not trying to be anything other than exactly what they are. The high waist creates a natural elongation of the leg, a longer, leaner silhouette without heels or complicated layers. The straight leg maintains a clean vertical line all the way down, which is particularly flattering after 50 because it avoids the visual width that wide leg cuts can introduce and the visual shortening that cropped styles produce. And the dark wash reads as sharp and intentional, always. Here is what makes dark denim remarkable in a mature wardrobe. It is the great equalizer. It meets silk and makes silk feel human. It meets cashmere and makes cashmere feel relaxed. It meets a blazer and softens the whole look without losing any of the polish. A cashmere sweater half tucked at the front with flat loafers, a white shirt and blazer for something more deliberate, a silk blouse with a draped scarf and flat ankle boots for an evening that asks for polish without formality. Dark jeans do not apologize for being simple. They know that simple, done well, is the most sophisticated thing in the room. Drop a comment right now and tell me, are you a dark jeans woman or are you still on the fence? I genuinely want to know. Piece 6, the draped scarf. We are getting close to that final piece I promised you at the beginning, the one that pulls everything together. But first, this. Because this piece is so deeply underestimated that most women walk past it without a second thought. And yet, in the hands of a woman who truly knows how to use it, it changes the entire feeling of an outfit without costing very much at all. The draped scarf. Not the perfectly knotted, symmetrically arranged version you see in styling tutorials. The real version. A large, soft rectangle of cotton, lightweight wool, fine cashmere, or printed silk, loosely draped over the shoulder or resting at the throat, with no architecture at all, no precision, no pinning, no instructions required. Here is what it does that nothing else can replicate quite as easily. It introduces color or texture at the exact point where it reflects most onto your complexion, which is just below the chin. This is where color makes its greatest visible impact on how you look and feel. A soft teal scarf against a gray coat lifts the face. A dusty rose scarf against cream adds warmth and radiance. A printed silk scarf against navy adds depth and personality without a single additional purchase. After 50, when adding color directly to a garment can feel like too strong a commitment, the scarf gives you a way to use color safely, reversibly, and beautifully. You can change it with your mood. You can try a color you have been afraid of, and if it does not feel right, you simply take it off. No damage done. Draped loosely over one shoulder with the ends hanging unevenly at the front, or looped once through itself and resting at the throat without tightening, never tied with hard precision, never pinned in place, the looseness is exactly the point. Picture yourself at a gallery opening. Dark trousers, a cashmere sweater, a soft printed scarf looped loosely at your collar. You have not made a great effort, and yet 3 people in that room ask where your scarf is from, because in a space full of people who tried very hard, you simply arrived. The scarf does not complete the outfit, it completes the woman wearing it. Piece 7, flat leather shoes. And here we are, the final piece, the one I told you about at the very beginning of this video, the most controversial item on this entire list, because honestly, the fashion world still has not fully accepted this truth, and women over 50 deserve to hear it clearly and without apology. For decades, style media insisted that heels are what make an outfit, that the lift, the height, the angle are what signal sophistication and effort, and women over 50 were told, directly or indirectly, that flat shoes were somehow a concession, a compromise, a white flag. I want you to hear me on this right now. That is one of the biggest lies the fashion industry ever told us. Flat leather shoes, classic loafers with a low metal bit across the instep, structured Oxfords in dark or tan leather, clean white leather sneakers for daily movement. These are not compromise shoes. They are not what you choose because your knees raised a complaint. They are what you choose because they are beautiful, built to last, and made for the kind of life you are actually living. Walking with confidence, moving through your day with a long, easy stride, navigating the world like a woman who has somewhere to be and absolutely no reason to perform the journey. Here is the body truth that nobody tells you. High heels create a pitched posture. The pelvis tilts forward, the lower back curves, the stride shortens. After 50, that posture can actually read as effort and discomfort rather than elegance. Flat shoes do the opposite. They allow a fully natural, upright carriage, shoulders back, stride long, head level, and that posture communicates something heels simply cannot. Ease. The ease of a woman completely at home in her own body and her own life. Classic loafers with dark jeans and a blazer, structured Oxfords with tailored trousers and a white shirt, clean white leather sneakers under a trench coat and dark denim. Always real leather, always well maintained, always clean. The shoe is the last thing you put on. It should look like it was the first thing you considered. Flat shoes do not say you have given up. They say you have arrived and you intend to stay exactly where you are. Now you have seen all 7, and you might be sitting with a very real question, not about the pieces, but about yourself. Where do I actually begin? Here's how I want you to think about it. Start with your own daily life, not your fantasy wardrobe, not a version of yourself you are working towards someday, the real life you actually wake up into every single morning. If you move around a lot, start with the flat shoes and the dark jeans. If your mornings feel chaotic and you want to feel put together quickly, start with the blazer. If you want to feel softer and more luxurious without spending a lot, start with one cashmere piece. You do not need to do all 7 at once. You just need to start. And here's the truth I want to leave you with today on Melanin Black Style. Style after 50 is not about starting over. It's not about chasing something younger or trying to recapture something you think you have lost. It's about finally, clearly, and unapologetically arriving at yourself, the woman you have been becoming all along. Before you go, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 7 pieces do you already own? And which one surprised you the most? Tell me below. Your answer might just help another woman in this community take her first step. If this video gave you something today, please share it with a woman in your life who deserves to feel this way about herself. And if you haven't subscribed yet to Melanin Black Style, now is the time. Hit that red button and join us because we have so much more to talk about, and you are always welcome here.